again, I was just a kid writing about Chance the Rapper and Femdot and No Name and Saba and Lucky X and all of these people that are like legends now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I think for me it was on the strength of I didn't really see a lot of people like me pointing. Mom, I need you to understand I am you, reborn as the artist and revolutionary. That comes from true prophecy you spoke on before I was born. Everything you taught me, I'm using to change my city forever. One day and step at a time.
Time doesn't exist, there's more to what we see. Let's sit down, talk about it, let's just call it P.O.T, P.O.T, yeah. Let's call it P.O.T, P.O.T, yeah. Let's call it P.O.T. Yo, 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 what's up, P.O.T heads? Man, I got a great episode for you guys today. I got my boy right here. He's been doing a lot of great things in Chicago. But before I keep going, I'm going to let him introduce himself.
Yeah, my name is Isaiah Thoughtpoet77. I'm the co-founder and creative director for Social Aesthetics. I'm a photographer, creative director, A&R, journalist. I guess multi-hyphenate creative would be the term. But yeah, born and raised from Chicago. I do a lot of work in music, journalism, artist development, but more importantly, documenting the Chicago music scene for like the last 40 years. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Whoa, so you really embedded in the music, especially, huh?
Yeah, so man, bro, I've been dealing with the Chicago music scene, I want to say, since I was in high school. So this was I want to say sophomore year high school. So I went to Harlan on 95th in Michigan. You know what I'm saying? So if you know about, CPS schools, you have your schools that have a lot of resources and then your schools that don't have a lot of resources. And so Harlan was one of those schools that just had enough, you know what I'm saying? So this was 2006 to 2010, you know what I'm saying? So, I had I was gang banging at one point, you know what I'm saying? So I put a dude head through a lunchroom window and I talked myself out of getting suspended. So the African social studies teacher, shout out to Mr. Pincham, he saw me do that. He saw me talk myself out of that suspension. He was like, oh, you a smart ass. So if you could do that, then you can do debate through After School Matters, which I was like, what is that? But, because of debate, because of After School Matters, I got tapped in with Young Chicago Authors, media, and that's what really kind of catapulted me into the Chicago music scene. You know what I'm saying? So with True Star, I was coming out of high school interviewing KRS-One and Raekwon from Wu-Tang. So it was as I'm coming into True Star, and they got me doing the blog. So I'm writing about Chicago music. So this is before Chance the Rapper drops 10 days, still on 5 day and working with instrumentality. You know what I'm saying? This is when Tink was still doing freestyles, you know what I'm saying? She wasn't with Timberland, you know what I'm saying? This is before Femdot was who he is now, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, I think I just kind of grew up just loving my city's music, you know what I'm saying? I felt throughout the blog era, when everybody was listening to all of these other amazing people, I was like, shit, Chicago got what y'all looking for.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
There's a lot of slept-on artists out there, man, for real.
Facts.
And now there's even the spectrum of the music is even more, so that's pretty dope. Have you always been a writer then?
Yeah, man. Again, I came from a creative grandma, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to my grandma. Her artist name is Phoenix Rising, you know what I'm saying? Nice. So she's a doll maker, soft sculptured artist. And so, she sold work to Oprah, Angela Bassett, you know what I'm saying? She's had her work in Dusable Museum. And so she was she is one of the biggest advocates of me and my artistry. She was the one who even told me my poetry was special. You know what I'm saying? I wrote a poem in first grade. I went to Peary at one point and I brought the poem home and she was like, this is amazing. And, she doing what grandma is supposed to do. But, she's kind of always told me, that I was on this trajectory of doing something that really was important for the city, and it would be through my writing. So through my poetry, through my journalism, yeah, it's always been kind of a thing.
Because there's always a good writer is going to give you a perspective that you might not be able to see it yourself because you're not into it as much as you are.
Facts.
You know, you're there, you're seeing, you're meeting these people, so you're able to really write about it. You know what I'm saying? Is other than like you're just writing it from the outside somewhere. You know,
Yeah.
so that's dope. Like, how did you develop that though?
Man, bro. I think being again with True Star Magazine, but you know, building with different entities through my life, like Little Black Pro Workshop. Hebrew Brantley was my art teacher at one point. You know what I'm saying? When I was doing summer camps over there. Again, True Star Magazine, After School Matters, building with people like Adev Labs. So this is like Ronadeb, who's like built with like Def Jam and all of these people, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, just kind of wanting and having a love for writing and just Chicago music specifically. You know what I'm saying? I think when I was doing different projects throughout, like I dare say the blog era, like the Lyrical Lab. Again, I was just a kid writing about Chance the Rapper and Femdot and No Name and Saba and Lucky X and all of these people that are like legends now.
Right,
you know what
right.
I'm saying? And I think for me, it was on the strength of I didn't really see a lot of people like me that were like doing this, like doing photos or doing photojournalism or documenting the music scene. It was like niggas was doing it for the clout more so than anything.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I think it kind of just pushed me into wanting to do it more. So again, when I'm doing a platform called the Lyrical Lab, and then you have other platforms that were inspired by the Lyrical Lab website, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
To fast forward, 15 years later, we rebrand the Lyrical Lab, and now it's called Unsocial Aesthetics, you know what I'm saying? Where we offer artist development, and we are helping the artists create their visual content, and we're giving them creative direction, and we're giving them resources and just, structure to like build up their artistry. The most important part in that is that artists and people still love to read. You know what I'm saying? And so even in like the last couple of months, we just been doing music reviews, on a lot of the artists that are coming up in the city, whether you just got started or an OG, helping with the New Chicago narrative and continue to uplift the New Chicago narrative, the Drill is Dead narrative. I think all of those things keep bringing me back to writing, you know what I'm saying? And really documenting, these stories, you know what I'm saying? We're in a moment right now where the world is really trying to erase Black and brown history. You know what I'm saying? And it's like all eyes are kind of on Chicago right now. You know what I'm saying? And so I feel like for me, I felt like this in 2011. So whether it's 2014, 2025, is like I really do love my city, and it really is Chicago versus the world, because Chicago is the mecca of creation. And when I say that, I mean you can pretty much root every single thing that's ever been dope, that's ever been life-changing or culture-changing to Chicago.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So whether you're looking at the drill, whether you're looking at the gospel, the blues, the comedy, like the atmosphere that comes from here, the beautiful Black women that come from here, the powerful Black brothers that come from here, the amazing brown folks that live in our communities. Like if you like are really trying to tap in, like this is just where it's at. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like
out here the culture is sort of like already really has been putting itself so much, cultivating itself here.
Yeah.
That the mixture of all of us has made a lot of like enrichment in the culture, and going with how you said back in the days, even freedom fighters and people like that coming out from here too. With today's world, with the things that are happening here in Chicago, there's a lot of us already trying to be like, yo, we got there has to be something done.
Yeah.
And it could only be done with better arguments, right?
Better conversations. And I think it goes into, because I just turned 34 this year, you know what I'm saying? And the people that I've been around, we continuously keep understanding that it really is our turn to continue uplifting these traditions and these amazing things that are coming not just from Chicago but from the world. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, right.
D'Angelo just passed away. The Promontory, that's a very huge staple in Chicago, is going to be closing soon, and both of these entities have cultivated a lot of Black culture specifically.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think, just even having the conversations about it is extremely important right now. So I think, going back to your question about what got me into writing, is really that, man. Just knowing that, with a lot of the Chicago music scene's transitions, I've been like right there. And I think a lot of people have always seen me behind the scenes, helping an artist or helping someone like get to their next level. But I've not told enough of my own story as myself.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's where
that's
coming from.
Another point that when you were talking about a little earlier about helping artists, move along in their, by videography or pictures or whatever, because that helps artists. That budget to make it, and if you're going against some type of establishment or something, it's too hard. You know what I'm saying? So if you have people that are helping you out, that helps. That helps the culture. That helps everyone. Because I see that today's world, they're just taking money away from minority areas, where they taking more out of the schools, more out of, where they should be going to parks. It should be going to better education, better books. Like you were saying, they're trying to take that history out of books.
Yeah. Like literally, you know what I mean? Like you just had the president of our country take $8 million from CPS, which makes absolutely no sense. And then when you realize the reason he did that was because he felt like the CPS school system wanting to put funds into programs that help uplift and protect trans identified folks or Black and brown identified folks. It's like, man, bro, like you letting us know exactly what we need to know. You know what I mean? And it's not just him, it's not just the people he's around, it's the country right now. You know what I'm saying? And so like even with I don't know if you're familiar with places like Swaparama, you know what I'm saying? It's a flea market.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? That's on Ashland in the city. And it's just a beautiful place, bro. Like me and my lady went in there and we were just like shopping with them. You know what I'm saying? You could get spices, you can get clothes, you can get all types of stuff. But the most important part was it was brown folks that were like, the vendors and everything like that. And so just recently, ICE came and did what they did over there. And, the owner is a white dude. And so when the community asked him, like, hey, like, this is private property. Like, why was that able to happen? And, none of the vendors feel safe now to even come back there. So when you look at, TikToks of people looking at the Swaparama, because this is a staple in the community, and how it's completely empty now. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's really showing how, people are trying to erase our history. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, even just simple things like these type of conversations are important because there is somebody watching. You know what I'm saying? Like people think people ain't paying attention, but people are trying to pay attention because there's a lot of fluff right now in the world.
The thing is that all this has been created to bring upon fear.
Yeah.
It's sort of like, I'm going to keep you guys in control with this fear.
Yep.
Right? And if there was a budget to hire these, I'm going to call them pawns. If there was budget to hire pawns to chase people around, collect them like their fucking prices and shit, because they get like, I think they give them even more money the more people, right?
Billions of dollars are going into it already.
Right?
Yeah.
And if there was a budget for that, how come there was no budget for better schooling? How come there was no budget for hiring or giving teachers more money so that, they're happy with their job and they're able to give our children a better teaching.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Especially in minority areas. You know, the black and brown, like most of those areas, the schools are not well funded already.
Man, bro, I think, you know, in moments like that, this is kind of where you just got to pray. You know what I'm saying? I was documenting the legendary Sister Africa's mother, June C. Porter's book release, The Children Are Praying. And I think someone at the book signing asked the question like, hey, like, you know, in all of your wisdom and, you know, the people that you've been with and, you know, the civil rights leaders your family have been connected to, what do you say about the moment that we're in right now? And she literally looked at her children and her grandchildren and looked back at the person and was like, we just need to pray more. We have to pray more. You know what I'm saying? And it almost sounds cliche to say, but it's like, it's almost like this is the best time to really be a dreamer and really like put the truths, put your truths out there. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm so happy with what the new Chicago is doing when you talk about folks like 13 Degrees and Kales and Cowboy and Angel Boy Life and people like them. They've been contributing to what the new Chicago is as far as like showing what the future of the city is when it comes to music and culture, while at the same time acknowledging what's happening right now and what has been. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like, you know, when I even think about any of the things that are going on in the world and how it's affecting people that I know and people that are around me, that's been kind of my go-to lately, man, is just like really like creating and just continuing to document the history of the city on some, you know, 2 years from now, this is going to really be helpful for the next generation as they understand what's going on.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Because there's a lot of power in word.
Absolutely.
Which words are getting spewed out? Is it negativity or is it positivity, right? And the more you keep people, if you keep them on a loop of news, social media, bad, you know, everyone gets trapped in this little loop of negativity, right? Yeah. And I think there's a lot of people out there that really want to push a little positiveness into like we should come together. There is no separation.
Yep.
We're not different. We're the same thing.
Man, bro, again, going back to the new Chicago wave, like you got artists like, you know, Rico Shy and Jublick and Solar 5 and King by Deem and Astro Omega. All of these individuals have been pushing more unity. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like Golden Child and Tariq Hakeem from the Unity movement, like they've been pushing more unity. You know what I mean? And I feel like people are listening. People are listening, and I feel like it's just going to be a case of we're doing this one step at a time. You know what I'm saying? Like we really got to put the work in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, that's the thing too, because if not enough people do the things that need to be done, those things are never gonna happen.
Absolutely.
If there's no Martin Luther King pushing people along, you know, that doesn't happen. You know what I'm saying? And the only way those things happen is by having people continuing to try to push this narrative.
Yeah.
Other than the one that's being shown to us, you know, because no one's liking what's going on right now.
Yeah, man, look, man, I think this is what I've learned even in the past like 2 years is to, you know, continue to stand on your truths and continue to do the work on yourself, which basically means you're doing the work as far as like what we're talking about. You know what I'm saying? I've had people even in the past like 2 years, like lie on me, some lied on me because they were believing what other people were saying. Other people lied on me because they just felt like they had nothing better to do. You know what I'm saying? And now, you know, I'm watching how the scene is trying to come together, but they don't know who to trust. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people are trying to, you know, be for self. You know, there's still a lot of ego You know what I'm saying, in the scene right now. And I think, it's slowly changing. It's slowly changing one step at a time. But I think just, again, being able to acknowledge people's truths and being able to have the hard conversations, that's what's going to keep us at least grounded as we go through these times right now.
Right.
You know what I'm
like
saying?
having acknowledgement that we're all here for the same thing.
Yep.
Right?
We can all eat. We can all do this together.
We could all
Yeah.
eat. We all have families. We all have loved ones. We just want to see good things in their lives, in our lives. We have friends. Anyone. We're all like just trying to get the same thing.
And I mean, it's to the point where if the if you got 5 homies and they know you doing this type of like production and they don't support you, they don't like your shit, they don't share it, every time you put your stuff up, they'll be like, oh, you put your little podcast up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like if that's their energy, you gotta get from around them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's sometimes easier said than done. But it's like we're in a space right now where growing and developing is crucial. You know what I mean? Like the creator of the Gangsta Disciples is asking the governor for clemency when it comes to his case. You know what I'm saying? Mind you, he was never supposed to get out. But him even doing what he's doing right now is extremely important. That's why you got artists like GOC uplifting what he's got going on. You know what I'm saying? That's why you got FemDot uplifting Jublick and uplifting Hits, who are very important to the Chicago's music scene's hip hop like growth before the drill genre was even created.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like it really go back to, it's like as much as we're doing the creative work, we have to do the mental work as well. You know what I'm saying?
Which is probably the hardest one, right?
Yeah, facts. Facts. like
because again, going back to ego. As artists, the ego fucking plays out a lot.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it becomes like a sport. Like, oh shit, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. But you remove that because of the culture and society and circumstances, and then you're like, okay, maybe let me see if I could put this ego to the side. That's hard to do.
It is, but I'm gonna be honest with you. I think because Chicago has been such a gangster city pretty much since its birth,
right.
I think the ego has always been almost like a handicap. You know what I'm saying? Like it's something that you almost rely on when it comes to like what type of environments you're in. Like it's almost a survival mode type of tactic. You know what I'm saying? And so I think to acknowledge that we need to come together as far as like the scene, it does take a lot of ego. It does take a lot of, maybe I do just shed light on the people I like or the people I think I'm cool with, but I don't shed light on other people. You know what I'm saying? And I think, that has always been, it's always been attached to the Chicago music scene. But I think slowly but surely it's starting to change. And I feel like, I think the only way to really address the ego in its like entirety is just by continuing to show up like in what you do.
Yeah.
Like me showing up in what I do. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And just being able to listen to understand and not listen to respond.
And also meet more people, that are doing big things. Like me, that's why I'm meeting you, because to me, you're doing big things. So I'm like, I gotta meet him. You know what I'm saying? So like, if you're open to that, if you're open to recognizing that there are others that are doing, stuff too, it doesn't take away from one's art if someone is doing good, but that's also something that it takes years to recognize as well, because that's one of the things that hinders you from growing, like you were saying earlier. Did you, for photography and things like that, did you go to college or school for that, or?
So yes and no. So I went to Columbia College right after I graduated from Harlan.
Okay.
And I majored in poetry actually.
Oh.
I actually was, I don't even know what the hell I was trying to do. I just was like, because I was like the only person that was very open about writing poetry at my high school when I went there. You know
Like
what I'm
spoken
saying?
word?
Yeah. So
Oh.
you know, on top of that, again, I was already curating events. So in my senior year, I had curated a talent show with a young lady, Brianna Richmond. Shout out to Brianna. She makes children books now.
Oh,
But
snap.
both of us created a talent show where, and again, this was Harlan from '06 to 2010. So niggas really weren't like supporting each other and like going to functions.
Like
Like
stuff like
kids were
that, right?
focused on like ditching school and shit. But we sold out the auditorium. We
Oh,
sold out the whole auditorium. And even more importantly, we had Jay Ivy, now Grammy Award winning Jay Ivy, as our headliner. And he did spoken word. You know what I'm saying? He's a spoken word artist. So
Right.
for me, when I left Harlan, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna just stick with poetry. You know what I'm saying? But I was still in the photography and journalism. But like as far as with photography, it was something that I already knew about because my grandmother was a photographer. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like she had me like looking at Gordon Park books when I was coming up. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, my grandma was woke before it was cool to be woke. You know what I mean?
That's
So
dope as hell.
yeah,
That's
so
pretty much what gave you that, you know,
I was an art
foundation.
festival kid.
That
Yeah.
dope ass foundation.
Yeah,
You know?
like, and I ain't gonna hold you. It was a gift and a curse. At least I thought it was a gift and a curse because it was like, I always felt like I was different than everyone else around me. Because you gotta
Right.
realize, like, my grandma's always been an artist. So whether it was her going on CNTV to promote her artwork, or whether we was at, you know, the Kwanzaa Festival when it used to be at Malcolm X College, or the African Festival, or the festivals that used to be at South Shore Culture Center. We were always at an art festival. So I was always around culture. I was always around some type of medium of art. So when I would go back to my elementary school, Burnside, or I would go back to high school, Harlan, and I'd be around, I dare say, you know, people that just talking like, you know, street shit. You know what I'm saying? We
Right,
talking
right.
about, you know, what's the newest Lil Wayne mixtape or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I just always felt like an oddball. But it was like, even when I got into the Chicago music scene, I still felt like an oddball because I realized that I was being culture shocked in my own city because I was around, again, like Chance the Rapper, the Oh My's, Jamila Woods. You know what I'm saying? I'm around all of these like amazing creatives. And then I'm also around them in 2015 when Black Lives Matter really picks up, not just in Chicago, but like around the whole world. You know what I'm saying? But Chicago was like one of the stamping grounds for these individuals that were doing like real on the ground organizing work. And we still use their curriculum to teach about, you know, organizing and LGBTQ awareness and stuff like that. So again, I'm in all of these spaces, and now I feel like I'm the dumbest person in the room because I'm like, you know, I still love the streets. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I ain't even saying I'm a hood guy, but it's like I can appreciate going to the barbershop and just, you know, chopping it up. You know what I'm saying? Getting the line and being on my way. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I can appreciate coming, you know, on the basketball court and niggas is baking each other. You know what I'm saying? And everybody just laughing or whatever. Like, it just, I felt like something was missing. And so, you know, I just started really doing my art more after the Lyrical Lab went on hiatus in 2015, and other websites and platforms that were inspired by them basically took off. You know what I'm saying? So it really pushed me to do more concert photography. And it kind of just went from there. Like once my concert connects wore off or whatever, you know, I was just like, I still just want to shoot. So it was like, I just kept shooting.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think from that moment, which was like 2014, I had shot the first Teens in the Park Fest where Chance the Rapper brought out Kendrick Lamar.
Oh, shit.
To pretty much now, like, photography has always been kind of like my weapon. It's been like my sword on some. I've had moments where I've had platforms like the Chicago Reader and Southside Weekly come at me at the same time and be like, hey, we really would love for you to come and create with us and do projects with us. And there was a time where, respectfully, I could not get either one of those platforms to fuck with me. You know what I'm saying? Like it was one of those, but they really just rocked with me because they saw what I was doing. You know what I'm saying? So even to this day, you know what I'm saying, my photography has helped really shed light on a lot of the artists that are really doing their thing in the Chicago music scene right now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't even like, you know, I was doing anything any different from like a Sean Andrew, you know what I'm saying, or like a Nolis or a Trash Hand, you know what I'm saying? Like these were photographers I looked up to like throughout the blog era. Like I feel like I was just authentically being myself. And I feel like that was helping these artists just really get more known, not just in the Chicago music scene, but in the world. So it's like now that I'm, you know, kind of wearing all of the hats that I've ever worn as a multi-hyphenate creative, it's like that's just the type of time I'm on. It's like photography has always been my main, like focal lens to like channel out whatever it is that I'm saying. So
that's like the vehicle you use, right? Like, because it's so powerful when a journalist is able to give you a dope ass image, which is maybe it could be just one picture, and then that article, you know, you could tell like if there's culture or you just writing for it. You know?
That part. Look, man, it's a difference, bro. I just had a story with the Chicago Reader where L Streets and Shauna, if you're familiar with them, they, you know, we got a chance to get them on the front cover for the Chicago Reader. And so, you know, Shauna, man, Shauna is the queen. You feel me? Like I've always looked up to her and her dad, you know what I'm saying, Buddy Guy. So, you know, as the story is on social media and whatever, and, you know, I'm just like happy as hell that Shauna is even rocking with the story. She was like, yeah, you know, we need to get my dad to come and do a story with the Reader. And I'm just sitting there like, when you say your dad, do you mean Buddy Guy? Like, so I'm just like, yo, what the hell? Like, that's insane. Like, the same man that just had a science fiction movie made on him earlier this year, you know, we can get him in, you know, this platform, and it's because his story is so important. You know what I'm saying? It's the love for these stories. Like, I would like to think that she saw my love for her and her legacy and him and his legacy. You know what I'm saying? And again, because I'm born and raised from Chicago, I grew up, even with everything I've told you as far as like who I was raised by, I did not appreciate I didn't really care much for being from here. I didn't really think it was a big deal at one point. But all of these experiences I'm telling you about, it made me be so proud to be able to say that juke music and, you know, drill music and gospel music and blues music and all of these amazing things come from here. You know what I'm saying? And I think photography really allows me to, I dare say, just cook. You know
and I think being like an oddball helps, because I grew up in the streets too, you know what I'm saying? And those motherfuckers getting shot left and right. You know, like if you didn't hear shots one day, something was wrong.
Yeah.
That's how bad it was. But you know what I'm saying? But like being an oddball, because I used to like writing myself. You know, I did a few poems, but then, you know, I started doing music and things like that. But just writing, and I was also like into revolutionary things and about what's going on in the world. And that made me an oddball too. And it just made me just weave through shit, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, because that's pretty much what you have to do, right? Like some people do make it out of the environment and some get stuck in it.
Facts. You're not wrong, man. You're not wrong at all. So, yeah. Yeah, man.
Like the way your story, like the way it has led you to meet so many amazing people, bro.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Appreciate it.
Right? Because life, you never know what life could lead you to.
Yeah.
And if you don't put your own power into it,
nothing gonna happen. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It doesn't happen, and it doesn't lead you to those situations that are gonna lead you to the next one.
No, I agree. Man, look, I'll say this, bro. I've been in a mental space lately where I've been not only processing that, but also understand that everybody ain't gonna like you. You know what I'm saying? And also understanding that, you know, when God tell you to do something, you don't question it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you can have moments in the Chicago music scene where you feel like, people ain't showing me love, or people ain't really, you know, uplifting me like I'm uplifting them. And I've been really thinking about what my grandma said, which is that you can't have a testimony without a test. You know what I'm saying? And that you do have to go through something to really be strong enough to tell the next how to get through that. And I feel like I've been going through that a lot, not only just since 2020, but a lot since this year. And I feel like it's all for very important reasons on some, you know, mentally, a lot of us don't even know where to turn when it comes to figuring out how to face our own demons or doing our own shadow work. You know what I'm saying? Right. So when I did my mural piece last year that got submitted for a Pulitzer, the piece was called Throwing Hands on My Shadow Work. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And the piece talks about or it shows artists that have been like leading the Chicago music charge for like the last 15 years. So DJ Hustlenomics, Asha Omega, Mute, Rhea the Second, King by Deem, Solar 5, Michael Anthony, you know what I'm saying? Like all of these individuals have really changed how the music, how the culture has really been shifting for the past, present, and future here. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, a lot of people was hating on that. You know what I'm saying, when it came out. And I didn't understand it because I was like, man, I'm just trying to do me. You know what I'm saying? Like, why people lying on me? Why people ain't supporting me no more? Or whatever. And I had to realize that, you know, God wanted me to create what I was creating. It wasn't for, like, I wasn't supposed to get this energy back from these people. You know what I mean? I was supposed to get it back from who God wants me to get my blessings from. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. And I think that when we talk about ego, when we talk about, you know, just like, I dare say, understanding that it's easier said than done. And I could tell you that on I'm still processing. Yeah. You know what I mean? But it's like, it's important. It's important for everything you just said for us to continue evolving. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, because life is not perfect. Yeah. Life is not perfect. You know, and nothing really is owed to one. The only thing that's owed is yourself doing it. Yeah. That's the only thing. Other than that, the results are gonna eventually happen. And like you said, if you believe in God or energy or the source, or whatever you want to call it, but that is an energy that's out there for us. And I believe in God myself. You know, same. Like I pray as well, but it might not be like a church type of person. Man, bro, look, I'm a fan of church happening in the streets. You know what I'm saying? I honestly feel like church is kind of like where the most crooked people be at. You know what I'm saying? Like I grew up in church, you know what I'm saying? And, I grew up seeing like people click up, you know what I'm saying? And now I'm looking at my family church that I grew up in, and individuals that were like people I grew up with, they came to the preacher and, told them something about an individual that tried to take advantage of them. And, the preacher just shoot it off because this person doesn't identify as he or she. They identify as they, them. You know what I'm saying? I was like, damn, bro, like, I thought church is supposed to be for everybody. It don't matter who you is. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, for me, I feel like I get the best proverbs from when I'm in the streets. And I'm like, standing next to a dude that be out here, you know what I'm saying, on the corner, you know what I'm saying? Because that real energy, you could actually feel it. Yep. And you could tell when someone's in church just to be seen. Yeah. Like, hey, just because you go to church don't mean you're good, you know what I'm saying? But that's what I mean. Like, I do believe in God, but I believe in that energy. I believe in that. Like, there is something there. When I pray, sometimes my prayers do come true, and I get put through some type of test, as you were saying. Yep. And if you are not willing to go through that test, you're not going to get what you're looking for, because it's not going to be for you. Yep. Because you're already proving it by your actions. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. Bro. And looking at someone like you, that's inspiring, man. Appreciate it.
here's you, and you're like, hey, look, this is my story. I came up with this. I used to do that, but check it out. I got myself out of it. I found a way, and I'm meeting some big people. I mean, like, damn, Chance the Rapper found out, all those people. Like, bro, that's crazy.
I appreciate it, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't even I don't think I was ever able to look at it like that. I think because I was directly in it, um, and because I was realizing that these moments were helping change the Chicago music scene. I don't think I've ever been able to look at it the way you just like said it, because I'm constantly in it and I'm constantly trying to, I dare say, show love even when it's not returned. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like because the Chicago music scene has never had real infrastructure, there's a lot of just like there's a lot of love that needs to be shown in the Chicago music scene. And I feel like, it's hard. It's hard to show love when people ain't showing love back. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I dare say puts people on this spiral of not wanting to show love or not wanting to put their art out because, we in the Chicago music scene, somebody gonna copy it or someone gonna steal it or someone gonna, get inspired and make their version of it and then not even mention you. So, they might get on and then move to New York and you still here, you know what I'm saying? But they got on with your shit, per se. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of it is just just really trying to understand what does it mean to be a human being through all of this. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's, if anything that I have learned from people like Solar 5 is to not take things personally. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's because of the fact that, outside looking in, it's like, oh my God, like this is crazy. And I'm kind of like, for real, like you can do it too. You know what I'm saying? And I think even like telling my story, on other platforms or even just putting my art out here, knowing people may do what they're going to do to it. I've been okay with that. Like I was there, say even, even in the past, couple of like months, I've had ideas that people have like kind of emulated and turned into their own. And, for me, I'm like, when I put these ideas in the Chicago music scene, I was like, I wanted it to be something people were inspired by. I wanted it to be something that people was able to really take and just use and create something that, one, has God in it, and two, you could teach it to someone and then they take it and teach it to someone else.
And then future generations, they feed off of it because...
That's what I pray. Every time I pray to God, that's what I pray for the most, is that whatever I have, whatever I'm doing, people can see the God in it and then they can learn from it and they take it and teach it to someone else.
Right, because at the end of the day, we are just human, right?
Yep.
And it goes back to what we were talking about earlier. We're all human, man. We really all just have a need to live and be good. What I don't understand is they separate us by the color of our skin, by where you were born. If you were at some certain territory, some random arbitrary territory, now you're from that place. Now you're labeled as that. But if we zoom out, it's just a big ass world.
Yep.
And we're all in it. We're all in the same place, in the same plane.
Yeah.
And the fact that we're in 2025 now and we're still fighting over the same bullshit. People are still sort of fighting for their freedom right now.
Yeah.
And it seems like a ongoing thing that's just, let's keep them concentrated on negativity.
Yeah.
Let's keep them concentrated on this. Let's keep on that, getting that money, getting some bitches, it's stuff like that. Let's keep them in that mentality, not respecting women, not being a good father, not this and that. Take away the education. Now their children are hurting. Now the generations are... It's a continuing battle that it just keeps being shown, you know. And the importance of people like you bringing light to that stuff is dope. you know, and we need more people to be part of that as well. You know, to push that narrative again, you know, because we are just human. We're the same thing, bro.
Yep.
You and I, me and this, we're the same thing.
Absolutely.
And it just happened to be that some of us were closer to the equator, and some of us were more away from the equator, and your skin somehow adapted to it, and that's all it is.
Yeah.
But we're still the same as, you know what I'm saying? So that I don't understand, because if we were all will be able to perceive that, we would all help each other. We will all be good.
Yeah.
But there's no controlling that, right? The system can't control us if we come together.
You're not wrong, man. You're not wrong.
That you sent me a video.
I think I texted to you. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna check that out real quick.
For sure.
You got to say something about it, explain about it before.
Yeah. So the visual is basically just talking about the new Chicago wave. It's a visual documentary series that we're doing, a 3-piece series where we're just talking about, you know, who's contributed to the new Chicago wave, what exactly is it, how long has it been a thing, and kind of just like the future of it. So yeah.
Okay, cool. So we're gonna play this quick clip. You guys could check it out on YouTube. What's the channel?
Unsocial AES.
Social AE.
Unsocial AES.
Unsocial. Okay, cool. So here we go, y'all.
Yo, peace, y'all. My name is Isaiah Thoughtpoet77, and I'm just here to talk about a couple of things when it comes to Chicago music and Chicago culture. And today I want to talk about the new Chicago wave, or the new Chicago. We've all had a lot of adaptations of the new Chicago wave, but I think people don't understand that this phrase, this narrative goes back about 15 years. So if you're familiar with the blog era, people have always said this is like 2011 to like 2019. So you had terms like the new Chicago, the new Chicago wave. You had these platforms that also were sprouting up, but overall, the whole point of the new Chicago was to talk about the new music, the new art, the new culture that was coming out of Chicago. Now, mind you, this has been going on since the blog era. So when we got to 2020 and the George Floyd riot started happening, the reason the new Chicago term came back up again was because you had a lot of artists that were in the Chicago music scene, but they weren't necessarily running for the clout. But if you look their name up, you can really understand that their existence is the reason why a lot of the Chicago music scene is like it is. So from 2020 to pretty much 2025, which is now, you've been having a lot of people talk about the Chicago music scene and the new Chicago wave, or the Chicago wave. So you have a lot of platforms, you've had a lot of, I dare say, curators that have represented and have stood up for what the new Chicago wave actually is. And flat out, the new Chicago wave is about unity and collaboration. If you are about the future of Chicago and you're about the betterment of Chicago and its music and its art and its culture, you are part of the new Chicago wave. So next session, I want to talk about exactly who are some of the individuals that have come together to even put the new Chicago wave on the map, if you will. So I'm going to catch y'all on the next one. Peace.
Nice.
Appreciate it, man. Yeah.
How many are you going to release? Like,
so it's gonna be 2 more. And the other 2 videos are again gonna be just shedding light on the different curators that have helped with uplifting the new Chicago wave. So myself, GQ the Teacher, Brittany Carter, Joel Q, again, Angel Boy Life, 13 Degrees, Kales, Lil from The Wave. That's their Instagram platform. But again, the goal is to talk about more of the curators and then talk about the artists and innovators that have also been uplifting the Chicago music scene, but also the new Chicago wave. So Chance the Rapper just gave like a cosign to the new Chicago on What's the Word platform recently.
Oh, snap.
But 15 years ago, as the Lyrical Lab, we asked him the very same question about the new Chicago. You know what I'm saying? So like, those type of testimonies from Sister Africa, who's assistant to John Monopoly, who manages Ye. She's spoken a lot about the new Chicago wave. Just speaking more about the future of what this is. You know what I'm saying? On some, people have tried to call it a list or like a collective, and it's not either one of those. It's a mentality. You know what I'm saying? The fact that you have interviewed amazing people like Afrocentric, like you are a part of the new Chicago wave because you want to talk about the future of this shit. You want to see the things get better. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it's all about. You know what I mean? So it's like, you've had people, I dare say, kind of talk about ownership, you know what I'm saying, of it. And for me, I get intellectual property better than the next person. You know what I mean? But I always understood that there are some things that are needed for the community. You know what I mean? And I feel like the narrative of the new Chicago is exactly that. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to be a part of something that is helping the city grow, this is what you can be a part of. That's safe, and more importantly, you're gonna learn about the city.
Right, because there's more power in like just meeting people, uplifting people. Because when I met Afro, she was, the way she thinks and the stuff that she wants to push, and the message is mainly that. Matter of fact, I should have said that. Mainly it's that message.
Yeah, I mean, she's building with people like Healthyhood, you know what I mean? So you have Reverend Tanya Lozano, you know what I'm saying? Chairman Allen. You have, Coach K, you know what I'm saying? Kate Bydeem, Hayward, you know what I mean? You have all these amazing individuals over there that do amazing work with, Frank Hampton Jr., you know what I'm saying? You have them doing a lot of the organizing work. And like I said, they're teaching curriculum from those Black organizers, those Black women organizers that were doing a lot of this organizing work in 2015 when Black Lives Matter was like becoming a thing. You know what I'm saying? So, I think that's the new persona for the artists coming out of Chicago, is that it's not just the music, you know what I mean? It's not just the art. Like, they have very strong opinions and concepts on what does it mean to be in community, you know?
Yeah, because you could push that message through anything.
Yep.
Through photography, painting, dance. Some people do dance,
Absolutely.
because we come from a culture from that. Our ancestors used to dance. They used to communicate. Yeah, right. And that's a part of being human, right?
Yeah.
We can't all be in the intellectual all the time. It's being part of human is the need for doing human things.
Yeah.
Which is collaborate with people, meeting people, being around loved ones. And that's all we want. We don't want this bullshit ass negativity that's been sent on our city. Like, our city right now is under attack, sort of, like, and no one wants to live that. Whether you're an immigrant or a citizen or anything, I don't think you really want this stuff to be happening. I think there could be something else could be done, but treat people like humans. We're all human, man. Like, and that message that people like you and Afro and that's why I'm like, yo, I want to talk to them too, because this is something that's important to me, and this is something that even if only 10 people listen to this shit, hopefully it seeps through them, and they're like, yo, yeah, our culture, us as minorities, or just people from this spot or whatever that we're at, we can be uplifted. There are people out there doing big things like yourself. So that's really important for me as well. Like, just having people like you on and giving me that little aspect, or giving people that aspect of what it is out there, what's really going on out there. Because you get like you're there, you get to see it for yourself.
Yeah.
And then that's, you bring that to us, you know what I'm saying? And like you were saying, it's not just only the music, it's everything. And just giving light to all the artists.
Facts.
That's important.
Facts. Big facts. Big facts, man. You ain't
Yeah.
lying.
Yeah. So I guess, I don't know, are you pressed on time?
I'm cool. I'm cool.
Yeah. Well, another thing I was gonna ask you, since you were like talking about like religion and things, what is it that you grew up believing in? Like,
definitely God. I would say, again, because of my experience in churches, I definitely feel like as I got older, I became more spiritual. But again, I try to pray to God every day, every other day. You know what I'm saying? And again, I feel like the same things I pray about are very much so, to continue trying to be a better human being. You know what I mean? And just learn, what does accountability look like in all aspects? You know what I'm saying? So like, even in situations where I dare say there is no right or wrong or what have you, it's like, well, what could I have done to be a better navigator in this situation? You know what I'm saying? And so I feel like, uh, I feel like my relationship with God has been just kind of learning to figure out what does it mean to have my own peace, and still navigate things.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So I feel like um, I'm very much so defining what my relationship is with God. You know what I mean? Like I definitely try to have just conversations where, I may be kind of frantic, or I may be pissed off or scared or whatever, but I'm just like, well, God, this is how you made me. So,
Right.
if I'm sinning, God forgive me. But, that's yeah.
Because I think whether you believe in God or not, you eventually come to know God.
Facts.
Even if you don't believe in God, some type of situation is gonna happen in your life where you're gonna end up meeting God, and that's when you make your choice. And again, the reason I also, because I grew up in like a lot of different churches too, so I got to see, like, even I'm a kid, and I'm like, some of these people on some bullshit.
That part. That part.
You know what I'm saying? And then you do come to know God yourself, and it even says it on the Bible, you pick up a rock and I'm there. So that means that church is within us, and within your word or your energy or what you're trying to push. That's how you portray that, in my opinion.
No, I agree.
I
agree completely.
Because again, if because of someone's beliefs or something, you're just gonna outcast them, that's not godlike. We're all brothers and sisters in the long run. You know what I'm saying? But that's something that the reason why I'm asking is because it seems like that's being taken away as well from all of us.
I think this is kind of where I was saying earlier, like, it kind of comes back on us now to, kind of remind the world like where we're at with things. Like, it's up to us to, present what does God look like for us to our homies and to our children and to, the people that are around us. Because I think we're relying on the people before us to do it, and they tired. You know what I'm saying? Like they chilling.
They need a sub and shit.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why even with everything that's been going on right now with our city and our president, quote unquote, he wants a certain type of like energy from Black and brown people. Like he want us to be, I dare say, destroying things or stealing things or whatever. He doesn't even realize that we really different. We really aren't like that. You know what I'm saying? Like that's why he hates us. You know what I mean? Like he really hates us because he understands that we not giving you what you want.
Well, you know it almost seems like like using this as an escape for something else.
Yeah, and that's
like,
what I mean.
Like a magician, like, yo, look over here.
The way he's attacking press outlets, the way he's attacking education, the way he's attacking nonprofits that actually do good for like the land itself. So like conservation. I wouldn't even count welfare in any of this. You know what I'm saying? Like he's taken from so many entities that actually are trying to build up the country. You know what I'm saying? Go, you good.
No, but yeah, it almost seems like something's being hidden, and they're like, yeah, look over here real quick. I'm gonna attack this. I'm gonna attack that. So you don't look into this, right? There's some certain files that don't want to be released. Why? If you're gonna put light on everything, put light on everything.
And I think we're in a country where if you give us our flowers, that means you have to acknowledge that we really created the whole board. Like we really are like the innovators, you know what I'm saying? And like, y'all have the money or the power, if you will, but y'all can't do nothing with us. You know what I'm saying? And I think that scares them, that we aren't giving them what they want, especially again, because he keeps attacking the economy. You know what I mean? Like it becomes almost, it's not even almost, it becomes a thing where it's not about Black, white, brown. It's more about the rich and the poor. You know what I'm saying? And I think, as we continue watching what's happening and we continue watching people like Elon Musk crash out, you know what I'm saying? Because he into it with dude and whatever. It's like you just said, like it's a lot of stuff that ain't being said that's happening right in front of us that we're just like, bro, we're not stupid. We see it. We see it, bro. Like we know. we know. See it.
Yeah. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like being a man, sometimes there's things that I've done a lot of mistakes in my life and shit,
same.
And so I know when I was trying to hide some shit. Like, hey, look over here.
Man, look, bro.
You know what I mean?
I'm gonna be a buck with you. Again, when I got lied on last year, I think for me, that was what saved me from my desk, I guess, being canceled, which is that I've never stood on anything that wasn't authentic. You know what I'm saying? I've always stood on my truths and I've always stood on my character. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, if you got a problem with me, let's talk it out. Let's talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't that hard to find. Shit, I come from humble beginnings. So if we gotta be passionate in how we talk to each other, or we gotta throw hands or whatever, it's like we finna figure it out. Right. You know what I'm saying? And I think that was something that I wasn't really counting on, was that people were saying, the people that were lying on me, like, no, they the ops. Like they didn't, lied on other people just like you in the same type of predicaments as you. And I'm just like, what? Like, are you for real? And I'm just like, how could someone be that, I dare say, like, heartless or angry or whatever, and I ain't do nothing to them. Like, I don't want no problems with nobody. Ooh, and I have to realize, but they want problems with you. You know what I'm saying? And I think, moving into, this year and moving into everything that's been happening is like, this should make you angry. All of this should frustrate you. You know what I'm saying? This should trigger you. This should make you want to do something. And I ain't saying that people gotta pop out into these protests. You know what I'm saying? I ain't saying you gotta do nothing like that, but you can support when you see somebody go fund me, go past your social media page. You know what I mean? If somebody is asking for donations, clothing donations, food stamps is finna be cut off next month. Food donations, you know what I'm saying? Hygiene donations. Like, don't be afraid to, just drop off some stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like this, it really go into the good and the evil. You know what I'm saying? And I think we're dealing with a lot of evil right now. And I think we are trying to find a way to be bold enough to be good while standing in front of evil.
Yeah, because again, to me, it goes back to the social media and everything outside of us. That's like, we all have that spirit within us, right? We all have a good spirit and an evil spirit. And every day you choose to feed either or. And social media just wants to keep you in that negative state. Boom, boom, boom. And then now we got all this bullshit happening.
Yep.
And, we still have to be warriors, but we have to be intellectual warriors.
Yeah. It's that time. It really is that time. Like, I feel like that's what I pray on, which is to just move more accordingly. You know what I'm saying? Move with more knowledge, especially when it comes to, talking about my city. You know what I mean? Like, we do come from a city of haters, you know what I'm saying? Where a person will pull you down if they think that you are ahead of them. You know what I'm saying? We're from a city where, I could follow you for years and like your shit for years. And in person, I don't even acknowledge you. You know what I'm saying? Like, we really do come from that arena. And, a lot of it could hurt. I know homies that have lost their lives, have taken their own lives, that were in this music scene, and they wanted to just be acknowledged, you know what I'm saying, by, I dare say, these gatekeepers that we talk about or whatever. And, I just kept realizing, like, damn, like, somebody need to do something. Like, somebody need to do something. And I'm like, yeah, that person's me.
Yeah.
Like, I have to be the change that I want to see.
Hey.
So.
Hey, that's dope, man. Thank you so much, bro.
Yeah, appreciate you. Thank you for having me.
Appreciate you being here, bro.
Yeah.
Like, for real, like, just listening to these type of talks to me, like, when I go listen to shit, I listen to stuff like this. So
same.
I'm glad that I'm able to have a conversation like this with, someone that knows, and is part of the culture.
Yeah, man. I would love to have more people come out, you know what I'm saying? Individuals like Jublick and Solar 5 and K-By Beam, you know what I'm saying? So they can just continue adding more to the channel that you're putting together. You know what I'm saying? We need more like this. You know what I'm saying? We need more conversations like this. So again, thank you for having me, bro.
Oh, and so before every podcast, I always do like a freestyle.
Okay.
I don't know if you want to do a freestyle too, if you will freestyle yourself.
Do I want to do I can write a written.
If you want, you can do a written, then you can start it off, and then I'll just finish the freestyle with that, and that's how we're gonna end the show.
I'm gonna just say mine without the music. Let me see. Okay, I'll read this.
All right, cool.
Just go.
Yeah,
All right. As much as I love the Blue Pen 3, I keep flipping from the first installment to Reasonable Doubt. I too can relate to being a work of art while still wanting dead presidents to protect the legacy. I'm determined to keep building on my consistency. It's what Mama taught me when she loved Dad for 40 plus years without fail and no return on her investment. I'm breaking curses and proving her ops wrong about her sacrifices. That's blood and fair weather friends. By being the griot my city needs to elevate the world to how the city of wind moves. Gangsters raised in churches and jails that only remind us that our generational trauma keeps the country running. That's why the president hates our black skin so much, because we control the culture and how his bones are married to Lady America. Since we were stolen from coast, our ancestors only described as a true motherland. We've been sons and daughters of the one true light bearer. We did some dream catchers from the trenches Dusabo once walked. A lot comes with that type of anointing. Mom, I need you to understand I am you, reborn as the artist and revolutionary. That comes from true prophecy you spoke on before I was born. Everything you taught me, I'm using to change my city forever. One day and step at a time.
Ooh. That was dope.
Appreciate it. Appreciate you.
Let me see. I don't know if I should even do it to this.
Shit. Just give me what we listen to.
That was dope, man. That was That was super dope.
Oh yeah, no, you can definitely get off on this.
Check it. Yo. I speak from the heart, yo, enough said. The American dream doesn't happen on every bed. Looking up ahead, I sort of see the past. There's still racial profiling and tear gas. But dare I ask, what's gonna happen? I don't know, am I here just stuck rapping? But is our city under siege? I don't know, don't take no seed. Yo, you gotta see so that we can feed our future seeds. Yo, that's why there's needs for people like him. Thought poets do this shit, man. Yo, then let me show it. Yeah, as I ride the shore, I'm like, yo, for sure. My city fucking pretty and she fucking down. You know me, I'm just chillin' and I'm going downtown. But I see a lot of motherfucking bullshit happening. The shit is not supposed to be here. A lot of men don't wanna fucking stand for the fucking right to see the women fucking uprising tonight. But let me see the sights. Let me set it up a lit. Let me go again, let me get fucking lit. My city about to get this shit and fight back with the motherfucking knowledge that we gonna sit back. Ayy, let's take a fucking little cruise. Me and my boy, we don't snooze. Yeah, that's why he's part of the culture. And we about to go against the vultures. These motherfuckers tryna get my people down. Hell nah, man. We ain't motherfucking sitting down. Let's go. P.O.T. Thank you so much, bro.
Appreciate you, bro. Thank you for having me. This is fire. This is fire.
You got anything else to say before we...
Oh, man. Do I got anything else to say? 2025, we got a lot more events for Unsocial Aesthetics coming up. 2026, I'll get this to you. Unsocial Aesthetics album coming out 2026. Also 2026. Unsocial Aesthetics magazine also coming out.
Nice.
So be on the lookout for that. We got a lot of stuff coming up for K by Deem. He's dropping the album, Cult Leader. Solar 5 is going to be dropping some more stuff going into the rest of this year, next year. Jublick is also working on some amazing stuff. Dope. Look out for him. Watch out for the Swim Team. They also dropping some dope shit. Who else am I thinking of? Ruchi Vale and M-Wise.
Nice.
Look them up. Hey, definitely got some fire coming. Who else I want to shout out really, really quick? Shout out Rooster Green, man. Rooster Green. Shout out her brother, Ryan the Person. You gotta have them on here as well.
I'm down, man. I'm down.
Like, yeah.
And shout outs to you for being here, bro. Thank you so much. Go follow him. Go check out his stuff. He got a lot of dope ass stuff. Please, y'all, spread love, and most of all, love each other, man.